planned shift from analog to digital TV. The ASO will begin in Mega Manila. Earlier this year, January 2024, the National Telecommunications Commission, or NTC, urges to switch to digital TV impending analog shutdown. They called on the public to switch to digital television by purchasing digital-ready TV or digital TV set-top box to be connected to ordinary TV ahead of the planned shutdown of analog TV. Have you switched from analog to digital TV? So what are you waiting for? Let's go digital. For more information, visit dict.gov.ph.
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. It is a distinct honor to welcome you to the unveiling ceremony of the United Nations Fundamental Principles of Official Statistics Marker.
I want to congratulate the PSA for putting down today the UNF post marker, expressing its commitment to the fundamental principles of official statistics.
In today's fast-paced world, the efficiency of public services is a critical driver of a nation's progress. For Filipinos, however, accessing these services remains a significant challenge. Long lines, confusing online processes, fear of scammers, and online fraud are just a few of the barriers that complicate daily life and hinder the country's growth. Government services not only play a crucial role in easing the daily lives of every Filipino, but also in advancing the nation's social and economic development. As a developing country, many Filipinos rely heavily on public services like education, transportation, and healthcare, among others. However, the complexity and inefficiency of these systems, whether through in-person visits or digital platforms, highlight the urgent need for reform and transformation. Through the years, the Philippines have developed several plans that have made the country pursue its digitization efforts. This effort is reflected in the latest United Nations e-government survey, which measures the online services provided by governments worldwide. The e-government development index is a composite indicator that assesses the level of e-government development based on three key dimensions: online services, telecommunication infrastructure, and human capital. The Philippines has made significant strides in this area, ranking 73rd out of 193 countries in the 2024 EGDI, a notable 16 notches improvement from 89th in 2024-2022. In another component of the UN e-government survey, the e-participation index, EPI, the Philippines saw a remarkable improvement, rising 31 spots to rank 49th in 2024, compared to 80th in 2022. To sustain the efforts of the government to address these pressing challenges, the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or the DICT, has developed the e-government master plan, or the EGMP. The EGMP seeks to harmonize and coordinate all ICT initiatives to optimize available government ICT resources, encourage information and resource sharing and database building, and ensure the development and protection of an integrated government ICT infrastructure. The EGMP shall carry the vision of a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient society driven by a digitally transformed government that is citizen-centric, integrated, secured, and transparent. The action items laid out in the EGMP aim to digitally transform the Philippine government. Let's look at some key initiatives. One significant initiative driving this transformation is the eGov PH app, a mobile, one-stop shop application for all national and local government services. This app is designed to make public service delivery easier and more streamlined for all citizens. The DICT shall also develop a web app linked to the eGov app, ensuring greater accessibility and improving the efficiency of interactions between government agencies and their clients. Digital National ID, recognizing the call to fast-track the implementation of the Philippine identification cards. The EGMP also promotes the strengthened rollout of the Digital National ID. This initiative will enhance secure online transactions and build trust in the digital economy. Information Systems Strategic Plan. The EGMP lays down various laws, policies, frameworks, and roadmaps to ensure the attainment of its overall goal. This includes the updating and adoption of the Information Systems Strategic Plan at the national, regional, and local level to harmonize ICT development and procurement across government entities. Creation of ICT plantilla positions. To ensure the effective implementation of these e-government programs and projects, the EGMP will advocate empowering the government workforce through the creation of ICT plantilla positions in the government through the issuance of the right-sizing bill, which will also ensure that the said workforce are equipped with the necessary ICT skills and knowledge. The journey toward a digitally transformed Philippine government requires concerted efforts and unwavering commitment from various stakeholders. The initiatives outlined in the EGMP are vital steps toward our shared vision. By leveraging ICT, we can create solutions that deliver seamless, inclusive, and transparent government services to all Filipinos. Let us unite to overcome today's challenges and unlock the opportunities of tomorrow through the transformative potential of the e-government master plan.
Sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon, inilabas ng Philippine Statistics Authority ang resulta ng isinagawang 2023 Provincial Product Accounts Compilation sa lahat ng 82 provinces at 33 highly urbanized cities o HUCs ng Pilipinas. Ayon sa PPA results, sa taong 2023, Quezon City ang may pinakamalaking Gross Domestic Product o GDP sa 82 provinces at 33 HUCs. Ito ay may kabuuang halaga na 1.27 trillion pesos o katumbas na 6% ng GDP ng Pilipinas. Sumunod ang Makati, Laguna, Manila, at Cavite sa laki ng ekonomiya. Lahat ng probinsya at HUC sa bansa ay nagtala ng paglago ng ekonomiya noong taong 2023. Ang probinsya ng Batanes ay nagtala ng pinakamabilis na paglago na may 14.5% growth. Sumunod ang Camiguin, Puerto Princesa City, Iloilo City at Bacolod City sa bilis ng paglago ng ekonomiya. Sa sektor ng agriculture, forestry and fishing, ang Bukidnon ang may pinakamalaking contribution. Sumunod ang Nueva Ecija, Pangasinan, Pampanga at Isabela. Samantala, ang probinsya ng Rizal ang nagtala ng pinakamabilis na paglago na may 19.9% sa sektor ng agriculture, forestry, and fishing. Sumunod ang Negros Oriental, Batanes, Camiguin at Oriental Mindoro. Sa sektor ng industriya, Laguna ang may pinakamalaking contribution. Sumunod ang Cavite, Batangas, Bulacan, at Pampanga. Habang ang Zamboanga Sibugay naman ang nagtala ng pinakamabilis na paglago ng industriya na may 15.6%. Sumunod ang Biliran, Eastern Samar, Nueva Vizcaya at Aklan. Pagdating sa services, Makati ang may pinakamalaking kontribusyon. Sumunod ang Quezon City, Manila, Taguig at Laguna. Samantala, Lapu-Lapu City ang may pinakamabilis na paglago ng services na may 18.2%. Sumunod ang Batanes, Guimaras, Camiguin at Lanao del Norte. Ayon sa PPA results, 100 ekonomiya ang services-based, 10 ekonomiya naman ang industry-based at 5 ekonomiya ang agriculture-based. Sa usaping GDP per capita, Makati City ang nagtala ng pinakamataas na halaga na 1.78 million pesos. Samantala, 32 ekonomiya ang may GDP per capita na mas higit pa kaysa sa national GDP per capita. Para sa karagdagang kaalaman tungkol sa PPA results, bisitahin ang PPA page sa PSA website.
With the acceleration of digital transformation, the Department of Information and Communications Technology is mandated to establish vital ICT infrastructure and digital transformation programs to fast track the country's digital transformation. Geographic Information System, GIS, plays a pivotal role in the National ICT Planning, Policy and Standards Bureau by offering essential spatial data analysis and visualization tools that will contribute in generating detailed insights, enabling policymakers to understand ICT trends in the country. Inspired by the International Telecommunications Union Geospatial for Development program, MAPIT is an innovative initiative designed to support data-driven decision-making and planning in the ICT sector across the Philippines. The project leverages advanced analytics, GIS, and comprehensive data
Test
sources
one,
to
two,
provide a
sound check,
real-time,
test.
accurate view of the ICT landscape, enabling targeted and efficient planning. MAPIT aims to bridge the digital divide, enhance infrastructure, and improve connectivity by guiding policymakers and stakeholders with evidence-based insights.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We kindly ask everyone to take their seats as our program will begin in 5 minutes. We also request that all mobile phones be set to silent mode. To maintain the solemnity of the occasion, we respectfully ask that you refrain from speaking aloud while our distinguished guests deliver their messages and during the presentation of the results. Throughout the program, you are most welcome to express your appreciation through applause. We would also like to inform you that we have our data exhibit and interactive kiosk located at the side if you would like to check other information about the results of the 2024 NICTHS later or during breaks. Thank you. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Philippine Statistics Authority would like to welcome you to the National Data Dissemination Forum of the 2024 National Information and Communications Technology Household Survey of the 2024 NICTHS preliminary results. Today, we gather to witness another important information drive led by the PSA in collaboration with the Department of Information and Communications Technology in line with our mission to provide our valued clients and stakeholders with relevant and reliable statistics focusing on information and communications technology. I am Jordan Arnaiz of PSA, and I'll be your host for today's forum. We're currently live at the Philippine Statistics Authority's official Facebook page, YouTube channel, and TikTok account with official hashtag 2024 NICTHS. And to officially start our program, may I request everyone to please stand for the invocation to be led by Regional Director Wilma A. Perante. And please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem to be led by Mr. Michael Angelo Sarabia of the DICT. Please all stand.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty Lord, source of wisdom, guidance, and strength, we come before you today with hearts full of gratitude as we gather for this 2024 National Information and Communications Technology Household Survey National Data Dissemination Forum. We thank you for the opportunity to examine our growth, challenges, and achievements, for the dedication of those who labored tirelessly to complete and share these survey results. Our respondents, data collectors, processors, supervisors, and stakeholders. Lord, we ask for your blessing upon each participant gathered here today, our leaders, experts, policy implementers, media, academe, and representatives from civil society. Grant us wisdom and clarity in conveying information, ensuring its accuracy and relevance with purpose. Help us to reach the intended audience and foster understanding, leading to positive action and growth. We pray for discernment in using this data responsibly and ethically, guarding against the spread of misinformation and promoting truth and knowledge. May this data dissemination forum be a beacon of transparency and collaboration, guiding us in making choices that bring upliftment, equity, and lasting progress. All this we ask in your holy name, through the intercession of Mama Mary. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw na luwalhatit pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng pag may mga api ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Okay, please be seated. Our forum today would not be possible without the presence of our distinguished guests and participants. So thank you for gracing us with your presence today as we all bear witness to this momentous event. At this point, we would like to acknowledge our distinguished officials present today. So as I call on your name, can you please stand up? First, we acknowledge the presence of the DICT officials headed by Secretary Henry R. Aguda. Good morning, sir. Undersecretary Sarah C. Soy. Assistant Secretary Philip Varilla. Assistant Secretary Miggy Planas. Director Maria Victoria C. Castro. Also, we recognize the presence and the support of the Philippine Statistics Authority, headed by Undersecretary, National Statistician, and Civil Registrar General, Undersecretary Claire Dennis S. Mapa. Deputy National Statistician Divina Gracia L. Del Prado. OIC Deputy National Statistician Clemente Manao. Deputy National Statistician Rosalinda Bautista. ANS Adrian Cerezo. Assistant National Statistician Christine Joy Briones. Assistant National Statistician Rachel C. Laksa. Also, we would like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Nauto Kanehira from the World Bank. Ms. Michelle Alarcon from the Analytics Association and Artificial Intelligence of the Philippines. And for other participants, as I call on your group or your agency, please stand up for you to be recognized, starting with the PSA's regional directors. Good morning. Participants from the DICT. Good morning. Of course, from DepDev. Good morning po. From the Commission on Higher Education. Good morning. From the Department of Education. We also have participants from the Department of Science and Technology. Department of Trade and Industry. Our friends from the National Telecommunications Commission. University of the Philippines, Diliman. Good morning. From Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Good morning. From the Philippine Institute for Development Studies. Good morning po. From the National Privacy Commission. Good morning. From the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordination Center. Good morning. From TESDA. Good morning. From DENR. We also have participants from DOLE. From Anti-Red Tape Authority. And of course, from PSA Central and Field Personnel. Good morning. And to formally open our program, let us hear and listen to the welcome message from the National Statistician and Civil Registrar General of the Philippine Statistics Authority, Under Secretary Claire Dennis S. Mapa. A round of applause, please.
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat and welcome to the Philippine Statistics Authority headquarters. To our distinguished guests from our partner agency, the Department of Information and Communications Technology, Secretary Henry Aguda, good morning, Sec. Undersecretary Sarah Sison and members of the DICT Execom. More importantly, to our invited discussants, Director Maria Victoria Castro of the DICT, Mr. Nautok Kanihira of the World Bank, our partner also in a lot of statistical activities for the PSA, and of course, Michelle Alarcon of the Analytics and Artificial Intelligence Association of the Philippines. To our colleagues from the Philippine Statistics Authority, our regional directors, our members of the Management Committee, as well as our partners and representatives from the DICT and its attached agencies, to all our esteemed guests, stakeholders, and friends present here today, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. It is with great pride and genuine pleasure that I welcome you to this National Data Dissemination Forum for the preliminary results of the 2024 National Information and Communications Technology Household Survey. Today, we are gathered not only to present very important data on ICT. I've seen the data past few days, and I'm very happy. Secretary Henry is also very happy of the results. But more importantly, to reaffirm our shared commitment to building a digitally empowered and data informed Philippines. This event is the product of a strong collaboration and a unified purpose. And I would like to take this opportunity to express our heartfelt gratitude to all our partners, particularly the DICT and stakeholders whose support has made this endeavor possible. The first round of the National ICT Household Survey was conducted nationwide in 2019 by the Philippine Statistical Research and Training Institute, or the PSRTI, aimed at gathering national and regional ICT indicators. Now, this 2024 survey seeks to establish a fresh baseline for these key indicators, especially in the light of significant acceleration we have seen in ICT use observed during and after the pandemic as the government, the private sector, the households, and individuals increasingly rely on technologies for their daily activities. The National ICT Household Survey is a vital part of the Philippine Statistics Authority's mandate to provide high quality, relevant, and timely statistics that will guide our country's development. This survey captures the digital realities of Filipino households and individuals aged 10 and above, covering everything from internet access and device use to e-commerce participation and online safety. The insights that we will gain are not just numbers. They represent the digital journey of our people and offer a roadmap for inclusive progress. The indicators that we will share today will directly support key national and international frameworks, including the country's Philippine Development Plan 2023-2028, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the DICT's Digitalization Plan, among others. What we do here today will resonate well beyond this forum, shaping strategies and solutions that will impact the years ahead. As we disseminate the survey's findings, let us acknowledge the power of collaboration and data driven insights to effect meaningful change. May we continue to work hand in hand across agencies, across sectors, across communities to ensure that every Filipino has a voice and a place in our nation's digital future. Once again, welcome to this important forum. May today's discussion pave the way for a smarter policies, stronger partnerships, and a more connected Philippines. Maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Undersecretary Mapa, for that insightful and meaningful message. Your words truly underscore the significance of the work being undertaken by the PSA, and we deeply appreciate your continued leadership and unwavering dedication. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce our keynote speaker, let us all welcome Assistant Secretary Rosalinda P. Bautista. A round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone, especially to our distinguished guests and participants, the ICT officials and PSA officials, and other officials and participants from other government agencies. It is my honor to introduce our keynote speaker. Mr. Henry Roel Aguda is the Secretary of the Department of Information and Communications Technology. With over 35 years of expertise in telecommunications, financial inclusion, and digital transformation, he brings invaluable experience and fresh perspective to the DICT. Before his appointment, Secretary Aguda was the digital infrastructure lead of the Private Sector Advisory Council to the President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., where he championed whole of nation digital transformation efforts. He held key leadership roles where he led one of the only six neobanks in the Philippines, pioneered blockchain-based financial services in the Philippines, and transformed a universal bank into one of Asia's top digital banks. He also helped a major telecom operator dominate the market and expanded the Philippines' largest electronic payment service. At the government service insurance, his first foray in the public service, he slashed loan processing times from months to just 3 days. Appointed the ICT Secretary in March 2025, Secretary Aguda introduced a bold vision for a digitally empowered Philippines centered on digital bayanihan. His leadership focuses on four pillars. Letter D, driving a digital first economy. Letter I, inclusive tech for all. C, cybersecurity and data privacy. And T, transparency in governance. Secretary Aguda served as a senior lecturer in finance, cybersecurity and data privacy, business management, and business insights at the Technology Management Center of the University of the Philippines. He also held the position of Data Protection Officer and was recognized as the Data Protection Officer of the Year for 2017 to 2018 by the National Association of Data Privacy Officers of the Philippines. He is one of the authors of Data Privacy and Cybercrime Prevention in the Philippine Digital Age, published by the Bibal Publishing. His accolades include Privacy Advocate of the Year for 2021 by the National Privacy Commission, Digital Banker of the Year 2021 by the Digital Banker, Chip Technology and Information of the Year by the Asian Banker, and ASEAN CIO of the Year 2010. Published author, professor, and active civil leader, Sekaguda is committed to a secure, inclusive digital future for every Filipino, walang iwanan sa digital bayanihan. Let's all welcome Secretary Aguda with a round of applause.
Thank you, Ma'am Asek Bautista. Maraming salamat po. Masyadong generous yung intro. Ah, una sa lahat, nagpapasalamat ako sa Philippine Statistics Authority. Pangatlo ko na po atang event to eh. Bago ako na-appoint sa Cebu, kung maalala nyo. Tapos previous to that, meron tayo with, tama, tapos ngayon po, suki na ako. Uh, to our National Statistician and Civil Registrar General, Dr. Claire Dennis Mapa. Thank you, boss. Dahil sa inyong walang sawang paglilingkod para sa mas malapit ang totoo, mahalaga at makabuluhang datos sa mga bumabalangkas ng pulisiya ng ating bayan. Maraming salamat din sa mga kapwa ko lingkod bayan from the ICT, CICC, other attached agencies, mga kinatawan ng ahensyang organisasyon na nandito at sa ating mga partner mula sa pribadong sektor. Hi, Michelle. Sa mga partner natin sa mga international organization. Where's my friend? Forgive me for speaking in Tagalog again, but I know you'll pick up the message. Bago ako magsimula, nabanggit po ni Asi kanina na nagtuturo po ako sa universidad. Mga estudyante ko po, pagka sinabi na statistics yung pag-aaralan namin, ay, pinagpapawisan na. Yung iba, umiiyak na. Nagde-decide ng mag-drop. Kaya ito yung forum ng mga pinakamatatapang ng mga estudyante nung kapanahunan nun. No? Ang tanong ko sa kanila, bakit ba kapag statistics ang pag-uusapan, lagi kayong kinakabahan? Sabi kasi nila, Sir, kasi mataas yung probability na babagsak kami. Tama naman. Pero mabait po akong profesor. Huwag kayo marami po sa kanila pumasa. May iba na aksidente na lang. Sa DICT, mayroon kaming matibay na paniniwala. Pag may datos, may direksyon. Dahil sa totoo lang, hindi natin kayang ayusin ang isang problemang hindi natin nasusukat. At sa gobyerno, hindi pwedeng tansya-tansyahan lang. Diyan po tayo napapahamak. Hindi pwedeng puro meeting pero walang batayan. Kailangan natin ng malinaw na larawan ng realidad. Iyan ang papel ng PSA. At iyan ang halaga ng NICTHS. Kaya po kami nakikipag-partner po sa PSA kasi gusto namin yung totoo lang. Ayaw po namin ng fake news. Nabasa ko na po yung report. Nagagalak naman po ako na malayo yung narating ng internet connectivity at adoption ng technology sa Pilipinas from 2019 to 2024. Pero ika nga po nung mga kasabihan, malayo na narating natin, malayo pa ang tatahakin natin. Kaya sama-sama po natin gagawin yan. Nitong Hunyo, sa pagbubukas ng klase, sinabi ng datos, 60% lang ng mga paaralan ang may internet. Masakit pakinggan, di ba? Nakita agad ng Pangulo ang kakulangan at malinaw ang kanyang utos. Pag may data na nakita si Presidente, bigla siyang nagdidesisyon. Ayusin ang internet sa mga eskwelahan. Kaya kami sa DICT, tumugon ng buong puso. Bago matapos ang taon, ikokonekta namin ang natitirang 40%. Sana po ang data natin by the end of the year, 100% of all DepEd schools are connected na. So nakikipag-ugnayan po kami sa DepEd dyan. Ito po ang malinaw na mandato ng Pangulong Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. At hindi lang po sa school yan, ang gusto niya po sa buong bansa. Hindi lang ito programa ng DICT, ito po ay bahagi ng pangarap ng ating Pangulo para sa isang makabagong lipunan kung saan ang bawat Pilipino sa angmang sulok ng bansa ay may kakayahang makisabay sa mabilis na takbo ng mundo. Sa bawat pulong ng gabinete, malinaw ang direksyon, gawing abot kaya at mabilis ang internet para sa lahat. Iyan ang utos, iyan ang vision, at iyan ang pangakong tinutupad natin ngayon. Yung pong naka-attend noong launching natin sa San Juan, nakita niyo naman po, ang ganda ng eGov app. Kasama po kayo dyan. Pero nung nag-a-announce po si Presidente, ano sabi ni President? Kinall out ako, di ba? Sabi niya, Sek, pag walang connectivity, walang eGov app. So, maganda man yung app, kung wala ka naman connectivity, sayang, di ba? Ganito ang tunay na ugnayan ng datos at aksyon. Kayo ang nagsasabi kung nasaan ang kulang. Kami ang gumagawa ng paraan. At sa dulo, babalik ulit kayo para sukatin kung naging sapat, kung may epekto, at kung kailangang itama o dagdagan. Sa panahon ngayon, hindi na tanong kung mahalaga ang internet. Ang tanong na lang ay, sino ang meron at sino ang naiwan. Ayon sa datos, kung may maayos na koneksyon ang isang pamilya, pwedeng tumaas ng 17% ang income nila. Dahil sa internet, pwedeng magbenta online, mag-work from home, mag-aral kahit nasa probinsya. Hindi ito kwento lang. Ito ay ebidensyang bitbit ng PSA po. At mas mahalaga pa, connectivity din ang nagbibigay ng pag-asa. Isang OFW sa Dubai, pwedeng kausapin ng anak na naiwan sa Tawi-Tawi. Isang nanay sa Iloilo, pwede magtrabaho online habang inaalagaan ng anak. Isang estudyante sa Batanes, pwedeng matuto sa tulong ng internet kahit walang malapit na paaralan. Pero alamin din natin ang totoo. Hindi lahat ng nakakaramdam ng benepisyo ng internet. Kasi mataas pa rin ang presyo ng internet sa Pilipinas. Doon po sa study na ginawa ng PSA together with the ICT, ang pinakamalaking balakid po ay presyo. Namamahalan po sila. Ayon sa datos, ang fixed broadband sa atin ay umaabot sa 4.7% ng GNI. Ito po yung kinikita nila, ito yung share of wallet nila. Mas mahal pa siya kaysa Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia at iba pa. Ang mobile internet naman ay 1.6% ng GNI. Pangalawa sa pinakamahal sa buong ASEAN. Kaya hindi katakataka kung bakit isa ang sigaw ng taong bayan. Sek, gusto lang naman namin internet na mabilis, mura, at hindi nawawala. Malaking bagay po yung hindi nawawalang internet. Kasi nagbayad ka na ng internet, tapos bumagyo, tulad ngayon, umuulan, tapos biglang mawawalan ng signal. Kaya kami po, kagabi pa po kami, kung medyo minamalat ako, kasama ko po yung mga taga-connectivity team po natin. Binabantayan po namin yung mga cell sites sa norte. Maganda naman po ang performance ng Globe at ng Smart. Alam niyo po, kahit na mawalan po ng kuryente kasi, meron silang mga genset sa cell site. So pag nawalan ka na ng kuryente, wala na, wala ka ng TV, di ba? So kailangan cell site na lang. Diyan po kayo nakakakuha ng emergency announcement. Diyan po kayo makakakonekta sa mga kapamilya nyo na medyo nasa safe na lugar. Kaya importante po talaga ang connectivity, lalo na sa panahon ng bagyo. Kaya't isinusulong din natin ang konektadong Pinoy Bill. Maririnig at maririnig nyo rin po yan. Gawa po ng Kongreso at ng Senado po yan. Isang magandang landmark bill ika nga. Sa ilalim nito, mas dadami ang kompetisyon, bababa ang presyo at magkakaroon ng malinaw na pamantayan sa kalidad ng serbisyo. Inaasahan natin diyan ang 50,000 free Wi-Fi sites na target naming ipatayo sa bansa. May 12.5 milyong Pilipino kada buwan ang makikinabang dito. Dagdag pa riyan ang 1 million SIM cards para sa mga estudyante, guro at pamilyang walang kakayahang bumili ng load. At hindi lang yan, isinusulong din natin ang satellite internet para sa malalayong lugar at pinakamalawak pong national fiber backbone. Kapag konektado ang mamamayanan, lumalakas ang ekonomiya. Noong 2024, ang digital economy ng bansa ay nag-ambag ng 2.25 trillion pesos po. Trillion po, hindi billion. At may mga 11.3 million na trabaho. Hindi po to fake news. Statistics ng PSA yan. Kaya itagaan nyo sa bato. Tama po yan. Ayon sa mga eksperto, pwedeng umabot ng 5 trillion pesos kada taon ang ambag ng digital sector by 2030 kung mapapabilis natin ang pagkonekta ng buong Pilipinas. Kaya sa DICT po, we have a bold target. 8 million additional digital and digitally enabled jobs before the end of 2028. Pero hindi ito kakayanin ng DICT lang. Kailangan nating magtulungan. Kaya sa PSA, marami pong salamat. Kayo ang nagsisindi ng ilaw sa ating daan. Huwag kayong titigil sa pagkolekta ng datos na makabuluhan, patas, at tumutugma sa tunay na buhay ng tao. Sabi ko nga, pag may PSA, mababawasan ang fake news. Sa ating mga LGU at ahensya, gamitin natin ang datos na ito. Kung may barangay kayong walang koneksyon, huwag nang maghintay pa ng datos. Gumalaw na po. Huwag nyo na pong hintayin yung next census. I-connect na po natin yung mga barangay. Sa pribadong sektor naman, hindi lang kayo provider ng serbisyo. Kayo ay kasangga ng nation building. Kung gusto nyong lumago ang negosyo, tulungan nyong lumago ang bayan. And this is the appeal that I've given to the civil society, the private sector, and the international organization. Call me out. Call the ICT out. If we stray from our objective of making a fair and affordable internet in the country, then please do call us out. Call out also those who would stand in the way. At sa mga kababayan nating naghihintay, naririnig namin kayo. Hindi kami titigil hanggat bawat tahanan ay konektado. Hanggat bawat bata ay may access sa online education. Hanggat ang bawat magulang ay may pagkakataong masenso gamitin ang teknolohiya. Noong panahon ni Franklin Roosevelt po, mahilig po tayo nagbabasa ng history naman, di ba? Kilala na po niyo si Boss Franklin. Ang famous words niya dati sa isang leader, dapat po cool head and warm heart. Sinusubukan ko po yun araw-araw, pero minsan yung cool head nawawala. Pero warm po yung heart natin, huwag kayong mag-alala. Cool head and warm heart. Sa panahong ito, may isa pa tayong kailangang idagdag. Idagdag natin ng clear data. Hindi na sapat na leader ka lang na may magandang pagbabalak. Dapat po may magandang datos. Cool heads para sa matalinong diskarte, warm hearts para sa makataong serbisyo, at clear data tulad ng NICTHS para siguradong tama ang direksyon. Ito po ang daan tungo sa bagong Pilipinas, isang bansang hindi nabubulag sa ingay kundi tumutugon sa katotohanan. Isang gobyernong hindi natutulog sa datos kundi gumigising dahil dito. Mabuhay ang PSA, mabuhay ang DICT, at higit sa lahat po, mabuhay ang konektadong Pilipino. Maraming salamat po. Pagpalain po sana tayo. Magsasaka, may QR code na hawak. Aling tindera na marunong mag-online haglila lapag. Hanggang baryo't bukirin, signal na ngayon'y abot. Pinoy glamorosa, tech-savvy sa bawat sulok. Walang iwanan, tara na't sumabay sa digital na krus. Sabay-sabay, lahat magkaisa, walang maiiwan. Isang bayan naghahangad ng makulay na daan.
Okay, thank you very much, Secretary Aguda, for that wonderful message. Tunay na walang iwanan sa digital bayanihan. We're truly honored by your presence here today, and we deeply value the time taken to be with us and for your unwavering support to this important event. And before we proceed, we would like to invite on stage Undersecretary Dennis Mapa, together with the PSA Execom, to award the certificate and token of appreciation to our keynote speaker. Allow me to read the citation. This certificate of appreciation is presented to Honorable Secretary Henry R. Aguda in grateful recognition and sincere appreciation as keynote speaker in the 2024 NICTHS. May we request Secretary Aguda to receive the certificate of appreciation and the token. Next, may we request the PSA or the DICT officials for a photo opportunity. May we request the DICT officials to join our PSA Execom and Secretary Aguda. Okay, thank you very much. And now, to give us all a background of the survey and activities behind, let us all watch the prepared AVP on the overview of the 2024 NICTHS. Let's all watch this.
2024 National Information and Communications Technology Household Survey, or NICTHS. Overview. The 2024 National Information and Communications Technology Household Survey, also known as the 2024 NICTHS, is a nationwide survey of households conducted by the Philippine Statistics Authority in partnership with the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Objectives of the survey: to provide updated data on household and individual indicators in the post-recovery period following the COVID-19 pandemic and to produce internationally comparable core ICT indicators. Specifically, the 2024 NICTHS gathered information on access and usage to the Internet and ICT devices, spending on Internet and other subscriptions, digital skills, online government websites and services, e-commerce, e-waste, disaster preparedness, artificial intelligence and technology-enabled incidents. The 2024 NICTHS is part of the larger Digital Philippines initiative of the DICT, an initiative dedicated to providing every Filipino with access to vital ICT infrastructure and services. Sustainable Development Goals, Philippine Development Plan Results Matrix, DICT plans and international benchmarking indexes will be effectively monitored through his survey results. Reference period. The reference period for the 2024 NICTHS is from December 2023 to February 2024. Sampling design. The 2024 NICTHS utilized the 2023 Geo-enabled master sample of household-based surveys of the PSA. Two-stage systematic sampling design change to 44,415 sample housing units are 4 replicates of the 2023 Geo-MS with 44,415 selected individuals 10 years old and over. The domain for the 2024 NICTHS is regional. Response rate. Out of 44,603 eligible households, 44,271 were successfully interviewed, yielding a response rate of 99.3%. Interviews for individuals aged 10 years and over were completed with 44,166 individuals, yielding a response rate of 99.8%. To ensure accuracy, reliability, and efficiency of survey instruments in the system, 2 pretests have been conducted. The first pretest using paper and pencil interviewing, POPI, was conducted on November 6 to 10, 2023, in Cavite City. The second pretest using the computer-assisted personal interviewing or COPI was conducted on November 20 to 23 in Bataan. Series of training on data collection were conducted to equip the central office and field personnel. The training of trainers for data collection in collaboration with the DICT was conducted on December 18 to 22, 2023 in Quezon City. Task force training attended by selected regional and provincial focal persons on January 15 to 19, 2023 in Quezon City. Trained personnel from the task force training were then assigned to facilitate the second-level training for provincial offices, conducted on January 22 to 26, 2024. The final phase was the third-level training, conducted on January 29 to the 9th of February 2024 for the hired statistical researchers who would be responsible for household enumeration. Data collection. Copy using tablets were done during data collection and interview of the sample households, individuals that are 10 years and over, and selected barangays. Actual data collection is from February 5 to March 12, 2024, with 448 statistical researchers and team supervisors deployed nationwide. Series of training on data processing. TOT held on November 5 to 8, 2024. Task Force training on November 12 to 14. Joint second and third level trainings conducted in different field offices from February 3 to 7, 2025. Conduct of the actual data processing activities at the field offices officially started on February 10th and ended on February 25th. Data evaluation. Luzon cluster held on May 6 to 8, 2025 in Quezon City participated by NCR, Cordillera Administrative Region, Regions 1, 2, 3, Calabar Zone Region, Mimaropa Region, Region 5, and Region 9. Visayas cluster was conducted on 14 to 16 May 2025 in Tagbilaran City, Bohol, participated by Regions 6, 7, and 8. Mindanao Cluster 1, which include Regions 10 and Region 11, conducted on 6 to 8 May 2025 in Davao City. And finally, Mindanao Cluster 2 for Soxargent, Caraga, and Barm Region on 6 to 8 May 2025 in General Santos City. Today, as we officially release the preliminary results of the 2024 NICTHS, we reaffirm our commitment to delivering relevant and reliable ICT statistics that support evidence-based policymaking and program development for the country's digital transformation and inclusive growth.
Okay, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The AVP not only showed us with a clear understanding of what the 2024 NACTHS is all about, but also highlighted the remarkable efforts and unwavering support of the dedicated individuals behind this important undertaking. Our PSA field personnel, regional directors, PSA central office personnel, and of course, our valued partners from the DICT. A heartfelt thank you to everyone who contributed to making this project a success. And now we've come to the most awaited part of the program, the presentation of results of the 2024 NICTHS. I believe everyone is excited to listen and know the results of the survey. After the presentation, we have invited discussants from the different agencies and main stakeholders to give us insights on the policy and program implications of the results of the 2024 NICTHS. And I'm sure that all of you are eager to ask questions as we go along. And with that, please save your questions as we will hold a 15-minute open forum later. So for any questions or clarifications, please feel free to scan the QR code found in front of the program activities given to you or the QR code found on your table centerpiece or at the back of your name tag and save it for our open forum later. As mentioned during the presentation of the AVP, the main goal of the 2024 NICTHS is to gather updated household and individual ICT data that are necessary in producing internationally comparable core ICT indicators. And now to start off, may I call on our first presenter, Ms. Christine S. Ariola, Officer in charge of the Labor Demand Relations and Standard Statistics Division, to present the results of the household access and individual use of ICT devices. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our Undersecretary Claire Dennis S. Mapa, the PSA Execom, good morning, the DICT officials and personnel, good morning, and all the members and colleagues here who are present here today. So now, let me present the preliminary results on the key indicators of the 2024 National Information and Communications Technology Household Survey, or the NICTHS. So for the outline, we'll be presenting the total estimates of households and individuals, of course, the concepts on access and use of the ICT, the household access to and individual use of the ICT, and the ICT ecosystem. Next, please. So let me start my presentation with the total estimates for households and individuals based on the 2024 NICTHS. The estimated total number of households in 2024 is 27.79 million. On the other hand, the estimated total population of or individuals aged 10 years and over in 2024 is 91.38 million, of which 45.89 million were males, and then 49 million were females. So before we begin with the results, let me first have a quick introduction of the important concepts used in the survey. First is the ICT, or the Information Communications Technology. When we say about ICT, it is the totality of electronic means to access, create, collect, store, process, receive, transmit, present, and disseminate information. On the other hand, when we talk about ICT access, so we mean the availability of ICT in a household. To have access to ICT equipment or services, such the needs to be generally available for use by all members of the household at any time, regardless whether it is actually used, and then it must be in working condition at the time of the interview, while the ICT service must be in operation. Also, the ICT equipment may be or may not be owned by the household. The use of ICT, when we mentioned about the use of the ICT, it is the use of ICT equipment or services by one or more members of the household, whether at home or elsewhere. So we now go for the preliminary results. In this section, I will share the results related to the household access to cell phone and the individual use of the cell phone. The percentage of households with communal or shared cell phone that can be accessed by any member at any time to the total number of households was 13.1% in 2024. This indicates a decrease of 10.9 percentage points from the 24% of household with access to communal or shared cell phone in 2019. Of the households with communal or shared cell phone, a higher percentage of smartphones were accessed by household at 91.0% in 2024. On the use of cell phone of individuals, we can see that the percentage of individuals aged 10 years and over who use cell phone in 2024 was 81.6%, an increase of 38.8 percentage points from the 2019 result. In terms of the ownership of the cell phone of the individuals, in 2024, ownership of cell phone among individuals aged 10 years and over was 79.7%, an increase of 38.9 percentage points from 40.8 in 2019. For individuals who own cell phone, smartphone remained with the higher percentage in 2024 at 93.0%. On the ownership of cell phone by type of SIM for individuals, among the individuals who own the cell phone, prepaid SIM remained as the commonly used type of SIM at 97.4% in 2024 and 97.8% in 2019. This section presents the information on SIM registration of individuals aged 10 years and over with ICT device and active SIM. Of the total individuals aged 10 and over with ICT device and active SIM, majority or 84.7% use their own information during SIM registration. Some use their relatives' information at 12.6%, while the rest use other information, such as their friends, or some are pre registered, or their employer's information, and others. We also look at the reason for not using their own information during SIM registration. Child parental control and don't know the process were the top reasons for individuals not using their own information during SIM registration, both at 37.1% of individuals aged 10 years and over with ICT device and active SIM. Some reported that they had no issued government ID at 19.5% and other reasons at 5.6%. For the main difficulty encountered during SIM registration, around three-fourths or 74.7% answered that they did not encounter any difficulty. For those who encountered difficulty, uploading of IDs was the reason at 11.4%, followed by access of registration website at 6.7%. We now go to the average monthly spending on load and subscription of individuals. In 2024, 265 pesos and 30 centavos was the average monthly spending of individuals on load and subscription, an increase of 9.79 pesos from the average monthly spending in 2029. So we now move to the another important ICT device, which is the computer. So I will discuss the household access to and individual use of the computer. Computer does not include equipment with some embedded computing abilities, such as smart TV sets and other devices with telephony as their primary function, such as smartphones. So in 2024, the percentage of household with communal or shared computer that can be used by any member at any time is 10.8%. This was lower by 13.0 percentage points from the 23.8 in 2019. Among the households with shared computers, laptop was still the highest type at 78.6%, followed by desktop at 30.5, and tablets and similar devices at 22.7%. Looking into the alternative ways for household to access a computer other than their own household, in 2024, the access at work and in schools had the highest percentage at 19.7% and 18.9% respectively. Computer shops was the most alternative way for household to access computer in 2019 at 34.8 percentage points. However, this alternative way had the highest decline in 2024 at 17.3 percentage points. For the use of computers of individuals, in 2024, 17.9% of individuals aged 10 years and over used computers, a decline of less than 1% from 2019. Among the individuals using computer, laptop was the most commonly used type of computer at 67.4%. In 2024, an increase of 28.0 percentage points from the 39.4 in 2019. On the other hand, other types of computers showed a decline in 2024. On the computer-related activities performed by individuals, the top three in 2024 includes, first, we have the sending messages. Example of this are email, messaging services, and others, with attached files at 83.7%. Second, using copy and paste tools to duplicate or remove data, information content, and digital environment at 66.3%. And then the top three includes the creating documents using a word processing software at 51.7%. We now move on to the household access to television. In 2024, 63.6% of the total household had communal or shared television that can be used by any member at any time. This was followed by um, this was followed by 19.1 percentage points compared to the 82.7 reported in 2019. During the same period, among the household with shared television, households with direct to home or the DTH TV service had the highest percentage at 26.1%. Meanwhile, the percentage of households with analog antenna television services recorded the highest drop, down by 26.0 percentage points in 2024. So that's it for the household access and usage of individuals to some ICT device. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ariola, for walking us through the preliminary results on the household access and individual use of ICT devices. And now to present the results of the household access and individual use of the internet. Let us call on the Assistant National Statistician of the Social Sector Statistics Service, ANS Adrian A. Cerezo. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, Jordan. In this section, we now move on to household access and individual use of internet. So in terms of access by households, almost half of the households had access to the internet in 2024, translating to 31.1 percentage points increase from 2019. In terms of the use of the internet and how they use it, social media remained the most common use of internet among households. In both years, majority of the households use the internet for social media, but not just for um, social media apps, but actually for also for long distance communication with family or friends. And from 2019 to 2024, this increased actually by 7.7 percentage points. This was followed by entertainment, studies, work, business, and other uses. By average monthly internet spending for households, the average monthly internet spending at home was at 1,069 and 10 centavos in 2024. This was lower by 211 pesos and 49 centavos compared to the average spending in 2019. By individuals, use of internet among individuals increased by 41.9 percentage points in 2024. 67.3% of individuals aged 10 years and over used the internet from any location in 2024, as an increase of 41.9 percentage points as stated earlier. By use of internet by type of device, among the type of devices used by individuals who access the internet, cell phone remained as the most widely used, 98.8% in 2024, while desktop computers had the highest decline with 19.7% percentage points, down from 29.7% registered in 2019. In terms of access by location, most of the individuals aged 10 years and over connected to the internet from home at 73.1% in 2024, an increase of 33.4 percentage points from the figure registered in 2019. The highest decline was connection to the internet while in mobility or while commuting or traveling or while moving around or outside, with 36 percentage points decrease in 2024, down from 63.4% in 2019. In terms of frequency of use, majority use the internet on a daily basis at 76.9% of the individuals by individuals aged 10 years old and over who use the internet in 2024. Others use the internet weekly but not every day at 16.4%, irregular only when needed at 5.8%, and monthly but not weekly at 1%. We now present to you the top 5 purpose for using the internet. In 2024, the internet was mostly used by individuals 10 years old and over to make a call at 94.2%. Other top purpose of internet usage were participating in social networks, creating user profiles, posting messages or contributions at 87.3%, streamlining or downloading web images, movies, videos, or music at 63.6%, sending or receiving emails at 43.4%, and getting information among goods or services at 41.5%. On the other hand, for those households who do not have internet access, as stated by the secretary a while ago, high cost of internet subscription remained their top reason for not having internet connection, with 58.3% stating so in 2024. Others mentioned were high cost of equipment at 37.5%. Members have their own individual or personal connection at 30.8%. They have access to internet elsewhere at 20.5%, and others stated that they do not know how to use it. That's why they're not. For individuals, among individuals aged 10 years old and over who did not use the internet at any location, the most common reason was the same, with high cost of internet subscription, stating so at 41.7%, followed by high cost of equipment at 33.2%. These were also the top two reasons of households not having access to the internet at home. So that ends the section.
Okay, thank you very much, ANS Adrian. We're now down to our last presenter. He will present the result on the ICT ecosystem, e-commerce, government websites, technology-enabled incident, artificial intelligence, e-waste, and disaster preparedness. Let's now welcome Mr. Carlo A. Garcia, Senior Statistical Specialist of the Labor Demand Relations and Standard Statistics Division.
Good morning, everyone. So, in this section, I will share the results related to e commerce or electronic commerce, which refers to the sale or purchase of goods and services done over computer mediated networks. The goods and services are ordered over those networks, but payment and ultimate delivery of goods and service may be conducted on or offline. First, let me share the results related to the different accounts that are used usually in online transactions and the different online activities done to earn money. In 2024, 9.5% or about 8.72 million of individuals aged 10 years and over have online bank accounts. So these accounts are like BPI Express Online, Video Online, Land Bank, iAccess. So this was higher by 5.8 percentage points compared to the record in 2019. Of the 72.98 million individuals who had an ICT device and an active SIM in 2024, 36.7% or around 28.80 million had an electronic or mobile money accounts. So these are like Maya, GCash, Smart Money, and PayPal. So this grew by 33.4 percentage points compared to 2019. Based on the 6.08 million internet users who sold goods and services online in 2024, the top online activities done to earn money were selling of goods. So this involves activities like activity doing in Lazada, Shopee, Carousel, Facebook Marketplace, and other social media pages. So this is at 15.4% and delivering meals or shopping for customers at 14.8%. Moving on about how about for online buying or online selling accounts. Of the total individuals aged 10 years and over, 29.8% or about 27.2 million had either online buying or online selling accounts. So this was higher by 24.3 percentage points in 5.5% recorded in 2019. For the next slides, I will share the results focusing on selling of goods online to earn money. In 2024, about 2 in every 13 internet users, or about 15.4%, who were selling goods and services online, specifically selling goods to earn money. Among the 938,000 individuals who sold goods online, the most common type of goods sold was clothing, footwear, sporting goods or accessories. So this was according to 48.1% or about 451,000 goods online sellers. Other common type of goods being sold online were food, groceries, alcohol or tobacco, and other cosmetics and fragrances. So this was according to 30.2% and 21% of goods online sellers respectively. So all about the platforms used to sell goods online. Among the goods online sellers in 2024, the most commonly used platform to sell goods was through social media sites at 85.0%. Other platforms like e-commerce mobile application and e-commerce website came second and third. They were used by 20.3% and 12.8% of the goods online sellers respectively. Moving on, all about the accepted modes of payment in selling online. Among the individuals who sold goods online in 2024, majority or 88.1% accepted cash on delivery as a mode of payment. Other modes of payment accepted were through electronic mobile wallet with 60.4% and online banking, debit, credit, or prepaid card payments at 12.9%. So we now move on to the results related to purchasing goods and services online. In 2024, 36.7% of internet users aged 10 years and above purchased goods and services online. This figure was higher by 13.0 percentage points if to be compared to the 23.7% recorded in 2019. Based on internet users who purchase goods and services online in 2024, purchase of clothing, footwear, sporting goods, or accessories with 80.5% or about 19.30 million users remained as the top purchase type of goods and services online. Unlike in online selling, where social media site was the most used platform, in purchasing goods or services online, the platform used was e-commerce mobile application. So this was the most commonly used platform used by 59.9% or about 13.52 million of internet users who purchased goods and services online in 2024. So this platform was also the most used by individuals buying goods or services online in 2019. As to the devices being used to purchase goods or services online, smartphones remained as the most used device in both 2024 and 2019. In 2024, 68.4% of online buyers used smartphones, while 82.2% of online buyers used it in 2019. All about the preferred delivery methods in purchasing online, a vast majority or 90.3% or 20.37 million internet users buying online preferred delivery in receiving their purchased goods online. So this delivery method was also the most preferred in 2019. As to the mode of payment used in purchasing online, in 2024, similar to selling of goods online, cash on delivery was also the most preferred mode of payment for purchases online. So it was preferred by 96.9% of online buyers. As to the reasons for not using electronic payment when purchasing online, of those individuals who did not use electronic payments on online purchases, more than half, or 52.5%, identified security concerns as their top reason. As to reasons for not buying or purchasing online, prefer to shop in person and not interested remain to be the top reasons for not purchasing goods or services online. So this was according to 68.5% and 61.8% of internet users in 2024 respectively. We will now be discussing the results related to access and use of government websites and government online services in 2024. Among the individuals aged 10 years and over, more than half, or 61.5%, were not aware of government websites and online services. Among the 35.17 million individuals who were aware of the websites and online services of the government, 24.6%, or about 8.66 million, used the internet to access the websites and online services of the government. So this was in 2024. The use of internet to access government websites and online services grew by 19.7 percentage points in 2024 if to be compared to the figure registered in 2019. As to the websites and online services of the government that was accessed by individuals in 2024, the most accessed government websites and online services by internet users included those related to contributions. So this includes services of SSS, GSIS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig. Also, related to certificates and IDs, so this includes PSA, NBI, and PRC. And third, local government websites. They remain to be the top three in both 2019 and 2024. As to the platforms used in accessing government websites and online services, both mobile application and web browser were used by more than half of internet users to access online government websites and services. Mobile application were used by 65% of internet users, while web browser were used by 63.5% of internet users in 2024. The 2024 NICTHS also collected information about different technology-enabled incidents. So this refers to the security breaches, incidents, or threats that leverage technological tools, systems, or vulnerabilities to compromise or exploit information systems, network, or data. So in this section, I will discuss the results related to awareness on cybersecurity and data privacy among individuals aged 10 years and over, and results related to receipt or attempts, and being victim and reporting of cyber incidents like text scam, SMS fraud, hacking, and phishing among individuals who have used any ICT device at home or elsewhere. On awareness on cybersecurity or data privacy, in 2024, of the total individuals aged 10 years and over, 33.4% reported that they were aware of cybersecurity or data privacy. So this shows an increase of 9.3 percentage points compared to the figure recorded in 2019. On receipt or experience of any cyber incidents in 2024, 62.5% of individuals who use any ICT device reported that they received or experienced cyber incidents like text scam, SMS fraud, or attempts related to hacking and phishing. So this shows a 31.4 percentage points increase from the figure reported in 2019. Of the 24.25 million individuals who used any ICT device and had received or experienced a cyber incident in 2024, 1.6%, or about 394,000, reported the cyber incident. So this shows an increase of 0.8 percentage point compared to 2019. As to the victims of cyber incidents, among individuals who use any ICT device and had received or experienced a cyber incident, SMS fraud remained as the top type of technology-enabled incident at 57.1% in 2024. As to reporting of being a victim of cyber incident, among individuals who use any ICT device and had received or experienced a cyber incident, individuals who have reported being a victim of a cyber incident increased by zero point 0.7 percentage point in 2024. Let's now move on to the section on artificial intelligence. So in the next slides, I will share the results of the survey related to the usage, awareness, safety, and reliability on using AI applications like chatbots, virtual assistants, facial recognitions, and the like. This is the first time that AI was included in an ICTHS. So therefore, there will be no comparison available for 2019. On the use of AI applications, among all individuals aged 10 years and over, about 3 in every 10 individuals, or 29.4%, reported that they were using AI applications like chatbots, virtual assistants, facial recognitions, and autocorrects. As to the familiarity of the AI concept, nearly 1 of 4 individuals aged 10 years and over, or about 25.8%, were familiar with the concept of AI. As to the awareness on applications that uses AI, among the 23.6 million individuals who were familiar with AI concept, majority or 86.8% were aware that many everyday devices and applications use AI. So examples of these are Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, Facebook, and Netflix. As to safety and comfort on the use of AI, among individuals who are familiar with AI concept, less than half or 44.3% said that they felt safe or comfortable in using AI applications. As to reliability of AI, among those individuals who were familiar with the AI concept, less than half or 45.2% thought that AI is reliable to use. Let us now move on to the section on e-waste. So based on the technical guidelines of the Basel Convention, e-waste is defined as electrical and electronic equipment that is waste, including all components, sub-assemblies, and consumables that are part of the equipment at the time of the equipment becomes waste. So with this section, I will present results related to the awareness on e-waste and disposal of electronic devices and appliances. Like AI, this is the first time that this topic was included in the NICTHS. So there will be no comparison for the 2019 data. On the awareness of on e-waste, among individuals aged 10 years and over, about 1 in 10 or 9.8% of individuals reported that they were aware and knowledgeable about e-waste. As to sources of information on e-waste, Internet was reported as the most common source of information by 71.8% of individuals who were aware and knowledgeable about e-waste. So this was followed by word of mouth at 34% and television at 33.6%. Meanwhile, a small percentage of individuals reported that their source of information about e-waste were radio, printed materials, and other sources. As to e-waste disposal, among all individuals aged 10 and over, about 1 in every 3 individuals, 34.4%, have reported to have ever disposed of an electronic device or appliance. We are now at the last part of the presentation. So with this section, I will share results related to emergency and disaster preparedness. This includes sources of information in case of disaster, most effective means of receiving information, and receipt of emergency mobile alerts. So this section is also new in the 29 in the NICTHS. So no comparison also with the 2019 data. As to emergency and disaster preparedness sources of information, in 2024, social media was the most common source of information, as reported by 65.1% of the total individuals aged 10 years and over. This was followed by emergency mobile alerts at 60.3%, personal network at 58.9%, television 55.6%, and barangay announcement 52.3%. Radio, online publications, newspapers, and magazines posted a lower percentage among other sources. As to the most effective device or means of receiving information, nearly half, or 48.9% of individuals aged 10 years and over considered their mobile device as the most effective device or means to receive information on how to make their household safe from natural disasters. So this was followed by television, personal network, barangay announcement, and radio. As to the receipt of mobile alerts, survey results showed that 74.2% of individuals aged 10 years and over, approximately 3 out of 4 individuals, reported to having ever received an emergency mobile alert. This concludes the presentation on the preliminary results of the 2024 NICTHS. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Carlo. Now that the results have been presented, I am now pleased to introduce our first discussant. She is the Director 4 of the National ICT Planning, Policy, and Standards Bureau of the Department of Information and Communications Technology. She also previously served as Undersecretary for Digital Philippines. She brings with her over 33 years of exemplary service in government, having risen through the ranks from the National Security Specialist to holding key leadership roles, including Assistant Director General and Director of the Information Management Office at the National Security Council. In that capacity, she managed the Presidential Situation Room and provided strategic insights on national security to the President of the Philippines. She has also served as the country's focal point on space and cybersecurity under the National Cybersecurity Interagency Committee and has contributed to critical national policies in areas such as food security and public health emergency preparedness. She holds a master's degree in technology management from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, a master's or a bachelor's degree in agricultural business from UP Los Baños, and is a senior fellow in public service from the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy, National University of Singapore. She is also a licensed agriculturist. Ladies and gentlemen, our first discussant, Director Maria Victoria C. Castro. A round of applause, please.
Okay, so good morning. I see very familiar faces, friends already, especially from our PSA colleagues and, of course, the DICT and our two discussants here. Thank you for agreeing with us to comment. Okay, so I don't know if I am, privileged to comment because this is I am part of this project, but we would like to give and more enhancements or maybe to provide better survey next time that we conduct this one. So okay, so can you bring in the slide, please? Okay. Okay. So let me start the discussion on the policy implications of the 2024 National ICT Household Survey. Okay. So Data and ICT statistics serve as our guide in ensuring that our government is steering national ICT development initiatives on the right path. Data gathered can help the government monitor programs and develop evidence based projects and policies geared towards improving quality of life of the Filipino people. With data, we can ensure that projects and programs of the government will surely adhere to the President's direction, which is walang maiiwan sa digital world at gawing mas konektado ang bagong Pilipinas. The results of the 2024 National ICT Household Survey is indeed crucial for the formulation of policy and programs, most especially by the Department of Information and Communications Technology. This partnership between the department and the Philippine Statistics Authority encourages an evidence based approach to tailor the needs of the Filipino people. It will help us improve decision making effectively, align our priorities and strategies, and build trust to the government. Also, data from the NICTHS will help in the monitoring and evaluation of the different DICT programs. I will discuss on the next slides the key policy implications that we can prioritize based on the results of the 2024 NICTHS. The results of the NICTHS serve as a critical input to both international benchmarking indices and national and regional development planning. So these include the ICT Development Index, the Global Innovation Index, the ASEAN Digital Integration Index, Sustainable Development Goals Monitoring Framework, the Philippine Development Plan, and the Regional Development Plans. These data are also essential to the work of various development partners and data stakeholders, including the International Telecommunications Union, the Asian Development Bank, the World Bank, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and the BIMP-IAGA or the Brunei Darussalam Indonesia Malaysia Philippines East ASEAN Growth Area, and that of UN Women. The 2024 National ICT Household Survey provides essential insights that will support the development, implementation, and monitoring of national ICT plans and policies. It covers critical areas such as household and individual ICT use and access, offering guidance on how to expand affordable connectivity and bridge digital gaps. For government online services, the findings emphasize the importance of increasing public awareness, improving platform usability, and building trust through targeted communication efforts and user focused service design. In the area of digital economy, the data can inform programs that promote e commerce, digital livelihoods, and innovation, especially for MSMEs and underserved communities. Lastly, information on technology enabled incidents can help shape responsive cybersecurity policies. So the results of the NICTHS would also generate information on the following areas: SIM card registration, awareness on artificial intelligence, private express or messenger delivery services, PEMEDES, in which the ICT regulates, e-waste management, and emergency communications. These additional indicators will provide valuable insights into several key policy areas. Data on SIM registration will help assess the effectiveness of the SIM card registration law and identify potential areas for improvement. Indicators on AR awareness will shed light on the public's level of understanding and trust in artificial intelligence technologies. E waste indicators will support the development of evidence based policies for the safe disposal and management of electronic waste, while data on private express or messenger delivery services will provide insights into the growth, usage patterns, and service quality of last mile delivery services, which are increasingly critical in the digital and e commerce economy. Lastly, indicators on emergency and disaster preparedness will play a vital role in informing strategies to enhance public awareness, strengthen community resilience, and improve the effectiveness of communication channels during emergencies. These indicators are particularly critical for the implementation of the Digital Terrestrial Television Broadcasting Migration Plan, as they will help identify and prioritize areas where early warning systems and digital broadcast services are most needed. In this slide, it was presented the comparative data on household internet access and individual internet usage based on the results of the 2019 and the 2024 National ICT Household Surveys. First, looking at the percentage of households with internet access. In 2019, only 17.7% of households had access to the internet. By 2024, this figure has significantly increased to 48.8%, nearly tripling over the 5-year period. This growth reflects expanding infrastructure, broader device availability, and the impact of government and private sector initiatives to improve digital connectivity. Next, when we examine individual internet usage, in 2019, only 25.4% of individuals were using the internet. By 2024, this figure has surged to 67.3%, showing a clear trend toward increased digital participation at the individual level. Based on the latest results, both key ICT access indicators have exceeded their 2024 targets under the Philippine Development Plan. The percentage of households with internet access reached 48.8%, surpassing the target of 40%, while 67.3% individuals reported using the internet, exceeding the 58% target under the PDP. This reflects the country's continued progress in expanding internet reach, possibly due to increased mobile broadband usage and digital service adoption. However, the results also highlight the need to ensure that this access remains affordable, equitable, and of high quality, especially for marginalized communities. To address the observed decline and persistent barriers in internet access and use, several key policy recommendations are proposed. First, we must promote affordable and equitable internet access, especially for low income and marginalized households. High subscription costs remain a major barrier. Under the framework of the National Digital Connectivity Plan, we can explore the expansion of subsidy programs and the implementation of tiered pricing model for broadband services, one that considers usage patterns and income levels. In addition, we recommend the expansion of free public Wi Fi sites, particularly in underserved areas, and forging of partnerships for the provision of low cost digital devices. These initiatives should be complemented by pro consumer regulatory measures and strengthen interagency coordination, especially with the Department of Education, DSWD, and DTI, to integrate ICT access into broader social protection and inclusion programs. To ensure that individuals not only access to the internet but are also able to meaningfully use it. We must invest in digital literacy and inclusive usage initiatives. Programs should specifically target women, senior citizens, persons with disability, and indigenous communities, equipping them with skills and confidence to access digital tools. And finally, to ensure that these interventions reach all parts of the country, we recommend mandating local government units to develop ICT infrastructure plans and integrate ICT access goals into their local development investment programs. This localized approach ensures that digital inclusion becomes part of broader digital strategies at the regional and community levels. As the President is poised to sign the Conectadong Pinoy Act, which will positively expand data connectivity in the country, we hope the figures will further rise in the next round of the NICTHS. In the area of digital economy, results showed that security concerns remain the top reason for not using digital payment methods. While a preference for in person shopping and lack of interest remain key barriers to e commerce adoption, a secure digital economy depends on a resilient security infrastructure and strong data privacy safeguards. We recognize that concerns over data breaches and identity theft undermine user confidence and slow down digital adoption. Working closely with the attached agencies, the National Privacy Commission, the National Telecommunications Commission, and the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, the DICT will prioritize the following: strengthening cybersecurity infrastructure across government and business platforms, which a cybersecurity bill which be resubmitted to the 20th Congress, while elements of cybersecurity were incorporated in both the e-governance and the Conectadong Pinoy bills. Conducting nationwide public awareness campaigns on data protection and responsible digital behavior, and establishing clear accountability mechanisms for data breaches and misuse of personal information. By reinforcing these measures, we aim to build public trust in digital platforms and empower every Filipino to safely and confidently engage in the digital economy. The improvement of government service delivery is a key policy direction, particularly as the 2024 NICTHS reveals that a significant portion of households still lack internet access, and more than half of individuals are unaware of government websites and online services. To address this, it is essential to enhance the streamline existing e-government platforms while ensuring that these services are actively promoted, especially in rural and underserved communities. Expanding awareness campaigns and improving accessibility will help maximize the reach and utility of digital government services. At the same time, building public trust is crucial. This requires the strict enforcement of data protection policies and the implementation of transparent, citizen centered cybersecurity measures that reinforce confidence in digital transactions with the government. The 2024 NICTHS produced very interesting data, and though successful, there's still room for improvement. One important area of focus is a strengthening of monitoring, research, and feedback mechanisms. The survey results highlight the need for continuous policy adjustments, which require updated, localized, and highly quality data. In light of this, we recommend the institutionalization of the NICTHS as a regular statistical activity, complemented by local digital assessments to guide both national and subnational planning. A survey to measure more commercial digital activities can likewise be undertaken to complete the country's whole picture on ICT. An open data platform that will allow both local governments and citizens to track ICT development, identify gaps, and support evidence based policy responses can be created. This platform should be designed to promote transparency, accessibility, and data driven decision making at all levels of government. The 2024 survey results also emphasize the importance of strengthening data interoperability across government agencies, particularly interagency committees. Facilitating seamless access and integration of ICT data will support coordinated digital governance efforts. At the same time, making this information publicly available can enhance citizen participation in governance, enabling a more inclusive and accountable digital transformation. Lastly, we propose prioritizing communication and outreach initiatives to raise awareness of government digital platforms and services. These efforts will ensure that all segments of the population are informed, engaged, and not left behind in the country's digital development. In conclusion, the department acknowledges the importance of the 2024 NICTHS results. The data generated from this survey will ensure that the plans and policies of the government is data-driven and tailored to the needs of the people. It will also help in the development of effective strategies for improving service delivery, digital inclusion, and fostering trust in the government. So thank you very much and good day.
Thank you very much, Director Castro. Let me now introduce our second discussant to give us insights on the monitoring progress of core ICT indicators. He is a senior digital specialist at the World Bank, leading policy analysis, advisory, and financing to improve digital connectivity, data and AI digital skills, and digitally enabling service delivery in the Philippines. Since joining the bank in 2010 and before coming to Manila in 2023, he worked with countries in Africa, South Asia, and Europe specialized in technology, entrepreneurship, and productivity, and promoting global partnerships on science, technology, and innovation for sustainable development goals and digital cooperation with the UN, OECD, and G20. Prior to the bank, he co-founded a mobile internet startup in late 1990s in Japan, worked at McKinsey and Company advising public and private sectors clients on digital transformation and research, computer science and organizational behavior at MIT Media Laboratory. He holds an MPA from Harvard University and a Master of Science from Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Ladies and gentlemen, our second discussant, Mr. Naoto Kanehira. A round of applause, please.
So good morning, everyone, colleagues, friends. Thank you very much for invitation and congratulations, big congratulations to this major milestone of refreshing and interesting deep source of data, which will be for sure vital for policy planning, monitoring, evaluation, and new idea generations and innovations for improving the state of digital transformation in the Philippines. I'm so excited to first discussing with you all today on the fresh findings, preliminary results, as well as maybe following up with our PSA friends and asking for access to microdata and merge database so that we can also dig deeper and analyze broad range of the findings. So apologies in advance because I will be bothering you, but really looking forward. So today I was asked to participate as a discussant, addressing specifically on the topic of monitoring progress of core ICT indicator as defined by the ITUs. ITUs have 50 indicators. I'm not going to discuss each of the 50. I'm trying to focus on what I see as the most important at this moment in the Philippines, which is access and use of internet, especially when the Conectado Pinoy Act is at a critical moment. I will cover broadly 4 topics. One is to contextualize the monitoring and reporting of the internet access in the Philippines development planning context. And then see how the new survey findings from the NICTHS 2024 adds value. And then look at ITU's core ICT indicator focusing on internet access, and then I will have a few discussion points. So I arrived in the Philippines in 2023 spring. So the PDP was the first document I read before arriving to the country in my first job, first 1 week in the job. And then I realized, okay, the country has a robust plan to improve. Well, the country has a deep problem of the internet connectivity and the robust plan to improve. So my job is going to be helping the ICT and others in the government to achieve these targets. So the baseline is 17.7%. The target until 2028 is 60%. Verification is to be done through ITU indicator, and the ICT is responsible. So, got it. So I felt a good understanding, at least I felt, good understanding of what my job is going to be when I arrived in the country. And soon after that, I saw the PDR, the annual progress report, which said internet access improved from 77% in 1919 to 77% in 2022. So, oh, the target is already met. So my job is no longer needed. So that was turned out as a surprise, and I didn't have a chance to deeply discuss this with our NEDA or deputy colleagues or friends yet. And we do see various different interpretations and choice of indicators to monitor and report on to underpin various strategies and policies across the government. So one of the latest and very important policy document from the government is the Trabajo Master Plan and the Employment Master Plan toward 2034, which cites internet use by individuals, improvement from 43% to 75% from 2019 to 2022. Maybe there was some typo in the footnotes, so just to clarify that this data doesn't come from the World Bank. The data on digital divide indeed comes from the publication we made in 2024. Then the new household survey. So the preliminary results is the big improvement both on the household access and individual use, as already presented. So now I look back at what ITU have been tracking based on the country reporting and what other data sources keep reporting, because improvement in internet access is so important. So turning to ITU's core ICT indicators, what ITU defines as core list of ICT indicators includes 50 indicators, of which 10 indicators are about infrastructure and access. You can easily find this on ITU website. Out of the 10 on ICT infrastructure and access, there are 5 about internet. The remaining 5 are broadcasting and communications. So it has fixed broadband internet subscription per 100 inhabitants. So this is not household penetration, but the subscription per population. And the active broadband subscription per 100 inhabitants. And the international bandwidth usage per inhabitant. So this is the use of intensity of the data traffic through international connectivity. And then affordability of both fixed broadband and mobile broadband. So household access and individual use are both not core indicators, but what's usually reported and closely monitored because that's something matters a lot. And if you go to ITU website, which is called Data Hub, which shows core indicators and additional indicators country by country over time. So the Philippines portion of the Data Hub shows connectivity at the individual level at first, then the fixed broadband subscription, well, mobile subscription and fixed broadband subscription like this. So this, so I can imagine ITU colleagues receiving the new 2024 number and scratching their head, right? So this is 83 in 23, and then the Next is 67% in 2024. So this is individuals using internet. The households with internet access. Again, IT colleagues might say, well, what do I do about this? So it was 80.8% in 2023. The new number is 84.8 in 2024. There's some interesting discontinuity in the time series for the Philippines. So ITU acknowledged 17.7% in 2019, and some gap period where there's no data reported to ITU. Then ITU also shows which national agencies report this data to ITU. So you see some of your regional peers, this data comes from statistical office. There are countries where ICT ministry, the ICT equivalent, report the data to ITU. For the Philippines, it's ITU estimate. So, which basically means ITU receives data, but they made their own judgment, well, not to take it face value. We have to make some sense out of it and then produce it as an ITU estimate. So for the 2024 estimate, what can I say? Good luck. So when I arrived in the Philippines and started my role in 2023, I started to look across different reporting sources. So at that time, I didn't have the data that was being collected through the 2024 survey. We got to know the results very recently. But already I started to sense the challenges, right? So there are a couple of alternative ITU indicators and third-party data sources. The household with internet access at home, as ITU collects from all countries to make this indicator comparable across countries. Philippines was already an outlier in the ASEAN, right? So all of these other countries have 17%, 80%. My natural interpretation is this is combination of fixed and mobile broadband. And I started to ask, is Philippines number 18 is inclusive of mobile or is it fixed only? Well, and then as I look at the presentation and materials from the 2019 NICT survey, it's both. But in a way, triangulating with, for example, fixed broadband subscription per 100 inhabitants, it's 8 per 100 inhabitants should mean, assuming 4 or 5 average household size, it should be 8 times 4 or 5 if we translate it to the household penetration. But this subscription also includes the subscription by businesses. If we subtract the business subscription, we can kind of guesstimate. It could be 20 or a little bit more. Compared to mobile broadband active subscription, which was already 62, right? So it's way bigger than 18 or 20%. And GSMA and other third-party data sources have the direct reporting from national mobile operators subscription statistics. So the definitional nuances or interpretive nuances persist on what is the scope of this data in describing the internet access. There's one subscription-based international research firm called Care Geography, which is considered as very reliable source, even though this is not an international organization. It's a commercial entity, but various international organizations rely on their data. So they provide disaggregated data through the data they obtain from the operators. So we can also get some sense of how the trajectory of internet access improvement separated between fixed and mobile over the years. And I do see that 2019 was an inflection point. So there has been stable increase and then increase jumped through the pandemic period starting from 2019. And we see the kind of market movement, right? So the bigger driver was fixed wireless by Globe, but it didn't commercially sustain and then gradually replaced by the fiber. So that shows up in the household subscription moving from 20% to higher. We see some similar movements in mobile subscription, which can be approximated for 4G and 5G. Thank you. What we care a lot beyond the aggregate internet access statistics is, of course, digital divide. And National ICT Household Survey is not the only statistics data source that PSA produces on internet access. And so the census, even though it's only until 2020, gives very good information on access to ICT devices, which can be disaggregated by income level, and also disaggregated by the geography. So the graph on the left was what was produced by our PIDS colleagues when analyzing open access reforms to show the disparity across higher income versus lower income household on access to broadband, which is the fixed broadband only, not including the mobile. Ownership of mobile phone and smartphone was much more equitable compared to the fixed, as we already saw in 2020 census. The graph on the left right-hand side is what we produced through the policy note we published in 2024, again, advocating for connected on Pinoy reform, which shows different modality of internet connectivity because the census asks question of what is your internet connection, what kind of connectivity you have, and it's a multiple choice. So you can answer, I have fiber, or I also have satellite. Of course, I also have the smartphone. And then with the micro data, you can account them separately to deduplicate the answers to say who are the people who have at least fixed wired mobile. And then anything addition, you can account the most desirable, stable, cheap internet connectivity through fixed wired. And then additional incremental share of population who doesn't have fixed wired but satellite, or who doesn't have any fixed internet but mobile internet only, which already shows us most probably in 2020, total internet access, including both fixed and mobile, might have been well beyond 19 or 20%, but with huge disparity across the regions. And also, when designing questionnaires and interpreting results on the exact state of internet access, having fiber at home is one thing, having PisoNet in next door is another thing, and you have to be very careful, right? If you ask a question like, at home, do you have internet access? Do I have internet access if I have PisoNet next door? But the very insightful data actually provided through the FIES, the income and expenditure survey of the household, ask how what the monthly expense you pay for internet connectivity. And you can see the distribution. So this graph shows the percentage of respondents belonging to the expenditure for internet connection per month by region. So if you look at the bottom left, region 11 and 13, the 2% of the total respondents pays between 1 peso to 50 peso per month, which cannot be fiber subscription, which cannot be cable operators, right? So these are the people who occasionally go to maybe internet cafe or use PisoNet. So these are the majority of people who have internet access in these two regions. Anything like 500 pesos, 1,000 pesos per month, which could be reasonable subscription for the household subscription, is much, much smaller. And then we do see the expansion of digital divide, inequity in access to internet, already at national level, but if you do the geographic domestic subnational comparison, it's even more starting. It's bigger and more expanding in the national capital region, and it's on average very low. And even the richest segment is not having better internet access in region 13, Caraga, for example. So I think my big picture comment is having accurate time series of internet access statistics will be vital. It's even more vital when Conectadon Pinoy Act will unlock the huge market potentials, bring in a lot of investors, empower rural internet service providers, improving access, affordability, and quality of internet over the next few years. You would want to monitor what's going on and what's not going on, even though the changes were intended, and make the policy course corrections adaptively. So timeliness and accuracy of data will be vital. PSA and the ICT can work together to enhance the complementary use of data across sensors, APs, FIES, and the household ICT survey, um, which targets different sampling size, which can be representative at different level of disaggregation. But because running gigantic survey every year is too expensive, you have to be smart about complementing different data sources. And you can also selectively use third-party data sources. And periodic integrative assessment of complementary multi-source data will be needed as implementation of this connected on PNI is on horizon. And there will be rooms for improvement when reporting data to ATU or aligning phrasing of questions to match the ITU guidance on what is supposed to be measured. And then there would be the room for disseminating internally within the government and aligning interpretations and objectives and what these different indicators should mean to be used for what policy planning purposes with NEDA and DevDev and various other fellow agencies to promote the collective government efforts to increase access to internet and promote data transformation. So the World Bank is all for supporting all of you and working with all of you to accelerate this effort. So let's work together. I will end my presentation here and thank you very much again.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kanihira. And now allow me to introduce our last discussant. She has over 2 decades of experience as an analytics practitioner in the private sector and started her own firm of Z-Lift Solutions, a pioneer analytics consulting firm she founded in 2013. She's the president and co-founder of the Analytics and Artificial Intelligence Association of the Philippines, or the AAP, the country's leading industry body for AI and data analytics. In this role, she champions responsible AI adoption, ethical data practices, and cross sector collaboration, helping shape national policies and governance frameworks for the digital economy. Ladies and gentlemen, our last discussant, Ms. Michelle Alarcon. A round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. Ako na po ang last, don't worry. Hello. Good morning po. Okay, nice to be here. Sayang, I missed si Yusek Mapa. He was my teacher in college. Shows his age and also my age. Nalala ko pa, no? Thank you for inviting the AAP here. So if you don't mind, I'll first do a very quick introduction of what the association is. So you have also context for the perspectives that I will be sharing with regards to the results of the NICTH survey. So this is us. We have started to build this what we call the analytics and AI ecosystem of the Philippines. We are a nonprofit organization, and we started as a group of practitioners on analytics and AI, mostly coming from the private sector. We banded together, so there were 9 of us that started in 2017, and we banded together because we felt that we needed to structure the upskilling, no, on analytics and AI for the Philippines. So imagine back then in 2017, there's no Gen AI, no Chat GPT, nothing of the sort. But we were just pushing for data talent, no, to have that coming from our academic institutions, because from the private sector's perspective, wala po, no? Wala pong at least back then, no, from the formalized programs from our institutions. So we tried to connect the private sector with academic sector, and then eventually nag snowball na po to involving other sectors as well. And we felt that it has to also be working together with the government agencies such as the CHED, DepEd, TESDA, and the DICT, of course, to make our programs institutionalized. And it has grown to be like this, so involving solution providers as well. So part of our ecosystem is more than 150 corporations. Nationwide, there are also more than 50 academic institutions, learning providers, and technology solution providers such as AWS, Google, and Alibaba, and many others that are part of this ecosystem, helping to grow this ecosystem in the Philippines. Now, why I feel that this is important, no, for everyone, because the context is going to be more from the uh, from those who actually build as well as design AI systems. How is this report relevant to us, or how are we going to use that? So in the past, we have worked together with different government agencies because we always wanted to be involved in policy development, and as mentioned, no, to institutionalize the programs that we do, working directly with the stakeholders. So just some of the examples. So working with the DICT, we started to create the very first Philippine skills framework on data and artificial intelligence. So this structures the different skills and competencies that are needed for the data and AI job roles. No? So this is continuously validated with the private sector, and especially with the academic sectors that are offering these curricula. We and on that note, no, on the right side, everything that's around upskilling. So together with the DepEd, we're designing the specialization in STEM for analytics. With CHED, we are also part of the technical panel for the ICT programs for our friends here in CHED. So ako po ay in the mother panel for ICT, for computer science, IT, and IS. We also work with TESDA, and there are now competency assessments for analytics equivalent to NC level 3. And we also work with the DTI, so particularly on maybe you have not heard of the standards. No? From ISO, we help localize these standards for big data and AI. Meron na po tayo. I think there are like, I don't know, 90 plus na standards. We just need to streamline that. So that's part of the safe putting together the guardrails for AI. So at least we have these standards working with the Bureau of Philippine National Standards. And last but not the least, very recently po, no? So this I think is 3 weeks ago, the president has approved the proposal for a national AI upskilling plan. And hopefully you hear about it in the SONA. This is a collaboration between TESDA, CHED, and the private sector lead will be the AAP. So magandang balita po ito para sa ating lahat. Right. So with this role of ours, that is actually, to be honest, it's not really a deliberate plan on our side to be lobbying for policies, but we felt that this is very relevant for us practitioners to be part of the solution. When we talk about data and use of internet, and we see that most of us are still using the internet for social media and not for learning, not for upskilling. It's still social media and connections and entertainment, and there's nothing wrong with that. But how do we also leverage on internet for upskilling ourselves, especially in this era of AI, where everything really is going to be affected by it, right? So maybe just a few inputs to the presentation of results, and I hope you don't mind. This is really just very straightforward. I didn't get to create fancy charts, but I'll go ahead and share our inputs first to the presentation of the results. One is visibility and provisional and LGU breakdown. If there is siguro po a more detailed report that I can that we can analyze, and this is just as presented by now to earlier from the 2022 report. This is really zooming in on the effect of technology instead of everyone coming together because of technology and having closer connections, it may actually widen the gap when we provide infrastructure, or when we always prioritize infrastructure to those that are in cosmopolitan areas where there are, all these commercial players. So if this is something that we can include as well when we do the presentation of the results, the need for sex desegregation and age breakdown, at the very least in the analysis, so that we have visibility on the sectors that may be left out. So same thing, I think there were a good balance of those that were those who responded in the survey, and I think this is good to also keep track, especially the ones who may be unemployed, maybe because of maybe our senior citizens. They can still be upskilled, but they have no access to internet, or no equipment in their households. The third would be, and this is more specific to the AI section, so maybe qualifying the types of AI and citing examples of each to better interpret the responses, especially on the fears and concerns on the reliability. So, for example, if they find that there are some inaccuracies in the responses when they use ChatGPT or Gemini and the like, this is not altogether a concern of reliability on AI overall. So this is just particularly on generative AI, which is, as we know, not yet perfect, but other types of AI, like the traditional AI that we have been using, very reliable. So one example, and I heard that some of the examples that were put in the questionnaire were, for example, Facebook, Netflix, I think, chatbots, and so on. So if we lump them all together, it will be very hard to distinguish which apps are you finding as unreliable. Do you think the Netflix recommendations are unreliable, or are you fearful of it? So maybe not, right? So these are different types of applications that we may want to also qualify the questions moving forward, or at least when we present the results. Okay. So those would be just the very high level inputs. And now on the policy development, I will start by first distinguishing different policy objectives, because digital readiness, or being prepared to use digital tools, which is very heavily dependent on how they are upskilled. Marunong po bang kumonect sa internet? Di ba po? Marami pang hindi marunong. Connect mo naman ako sa Wi-Fi. Paano gumamit ng QR code? So that would be digital readiness versus a policy that may be more tracking digital maturity and how we evolve to actually leverage on these digital tools. So we have these at our disposal. We are ready. We have access. But how are we leveraging that? Like, for example, for schools, they are provided online learning management systems. They have smart TVs, they have tablets, and so on and so forth, but that is just making them prepared to use these tools, but not necessarily on being mature to actually come up with new content and new ways, better ways of teaching, because they have digital tools. So maybe that is also one objective that we can put together for digital maturity. And last but not the least is participation in the digital economy, which also was presented by the speaker earlier, wherein this is the purpose, maybe, or one of the major reasons why we want them to be digitally connected, so that they can participate, like in terms of payments, in terms of commerce. They would be in this space together with us, leveraging on all these benefits, because they're connected, they have access, they are ready, they are mature. So maybe this is another goal, for us, and not just having connectivity, right? The second point would be, maybe it is also time for us to measure the impact of data accessibility when it matters, particularly for disaster preparedness. And when we have all these data that we say that are available publicly, like weather data, population data, and so on and so forth. So we go to the government websites, including PSA, of course, for these data points. But are they available to us when it matters? When we're planning for preparedness for every LGU, are these available? Are these not just available but accessible? And the UNDP actually also came up with an index for all the government agencies, looking at the reliability and accessibility of the data that they collect before, during, and after a disaster. So these are statistics that we would like to also have visibility on, so that we know, what's the point of collecting all the data if they're not really as accessible when you need them the most. Same thing with with corporations. No, it's the same concept. Number three is responsible use of ICT to be institutionalized, as mentioned by Director Marivic. No? So we kind of missed the boat on institutionalizing responsible use of social media, but it does not mean that there's no more time to catch up. So we cannot just say that we need to regulate AI, or if at all. But let's start even just social with responsible use of social media. So as early as when kids or when students have access to social media, maybe part of the curriculum could be a responsible use of these platforms. And aside from upskilling and making that part of the curriculum, we also need to work with social media platform providers and AI technology providers, so that they understand the responsibilities and their own accountabilities. So how do we strengthen our policies, our guardrails, if there are no regulations, to make sure that it's not just disinformation, no, that we're worried about, but using social media platform, how many percent, like above 70%, are using internet for social media? How can we make sure that what they get from that platform are things that are productive also for us? They can do business there safely, securely. They can learn and truthfully, not the disinformation stuff, from the accredited providers, for example, and things like that. The same way with the AI technology providers, how can they be aware of the regulations in the Philippines when these technology providers, most of them are outside of the country? So what is their jurisdiction? Which is related to number four, which is establishing clear accountability on safety issues from AI systems. It is right, it is fair that more than, I think there were 75 or 70% of the Filipinos said that they are concerned with issues, or they cannot rely on AI, or they are fearful of the use of AI. So what could these challenges, or what could these issues be? And from AI systems, again, we qualify, but if these are valid, for example, use of AI in the medical industry, in the healthcare industry, where it is, we cannot afford for it not to be accurate. Like, so that is a safety issue, and versus, let's say, self-driving cars and so on and so forth. But there's also safety issue from, again, going back to the Netflix example. If the recommendation is wrong, there's really no harm for you to watch that again, right? So it's just qualifying what these safety issues could be, so that they are easily addressable, or that they can be, there are really focused discussions on how they may be addressed, because this is also not necessarily us, the Philippines, for example, to address directly, but we can do something about it. We cannot say that it is not within our control to look after the safety use of AI systems, because we did not create it, but as a lookout for all Filipinos who are already in it, who are already using it, even if they don't know that they are, then it is, we have to look after everyone and ensure that there are accountabilities that are defined. So these would be the very short list to our inputs from the association, and I hope you find these useful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alarcon. And now may we request the PSA Execom to award the certificate of appreciation and token to our discussant. May we request ASEC Grace, ASEC Rose, OIC DNS Minette, and OIC DNS Manaug to award the certificate and token. Allow me to read the citation. The certificate of appreciation is presented to our discussant in grateful recognition and sincere appreciation of her invaluable services rendered as discussant in the 2024 NICTHS National Data Dissemination Forum. Our first discussant is Ms. Maria Victoria C. Castro. Our second discussant is Mr. Nauto Kanehira. And our third discussant is Ms. Michelle Alarcon. Okay, thank you very much. And before we proceed to the open forum, let's have first a 5-minute break. Thank you. May we invite everyone to visit our interactive kiosk and exhibit on this side of the function hall. Thank you po.
Save the date. The Philippine Statistics Authority proudly announces the fourth National Convention on Civil Registration and Vital Statistics, happening this July 28 to 30, 2025, at the SMX Convention Center, Clark, Pampanga. Calling all regional directors, CRASD chiefs, provincial chief statistical specialists, officers in charge, city and municipal civil registrars, solemnizing officers, and all CRVS stakeholders across the nation. Join us in shaping a resilient and future ready CRVS system through collaboration, digital transformation, and innovation. Discover key updates, including the Electronic Civil Registration and Vital Statistics ECRVS system, the Automated System for Administrative Petition for Correction, or APCAS, and policy developments that improve the accessibility and efficiency of civil registration services. Be there as we honor the outstanding local civil registry offices of 2024 and spotlight
Check.
the top three most innovative LCROs as they share their best practices. Mark your calendars. Be part of this landmark event in strengthening the civil registration
Check.
system of the Philippines.
May I request to everyone to please settle down? We're about to resume our program. Thank you. Check. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the open forum. But before that, allow me to introduce our moderator. He is currently the officer in charge of the Policy Research and Analysis Division, National ICT Planning, Policy and Standards Bureau of the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Since 2002, he worked on ICT policy formulation and the review of ISO IEC standards on information technology security techniques for adoption into the Philippines national standard. He also represents the Philippines as a committee member under ISO IEC Joint Technical Committee 1 Subcommittee 40, or the IT Service Management and IT Governance, and its Working Group 1, or the Governance of Information Technology, and Working Group 3, or the IT Enabled Services Business Process Outsourcing. He is a registered electrical engineer and a member of the Analytics Association of the Philippines. He received his master in business administration in 2021 from the National College of Business and Arts. He received his certified in cybersecurity from the International Information System Security Certification Consortium or ISC2 in 2023 and volunteers as exam developer. Ladies and gentlemen, our moderator, Mr. Alberto B. Salvador Jr. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Good morning. Are we still going strong in spite of the CB messages, the orange rainfall? So don't worry, we should be able to finish this by 12 noon. So we'd like to invite our panelists from the ICT, si Director Mariby Castro, and then from our World Bank representative, si Mr. Nautosan, then from the AAP, Ms. Michelle Alarcon, and of course from PSA, you have ASEC Divina Gracia Del Prado. For the open forum, while they're getting seated, you are welcome to input your inquiries through the QR code. I think there's the intervention sheet. You have to scan that and it will bring you to the Google Sheet form where you can write your name, the organization, and the question, your question, and who do you want to address your question. And then, but then if you would like to speak here to ask your question, we request that you first mention your complete name and your organization so that our documenters will be able to capture those information before you say your question and make sure to go direct to your question. And then we would like to have this to be the open forum. We may have this short, but we would like it smooth. And now we can proceed with our first question. So, do you have anyone here from the audience, from the participants, who is brave enough to ask the first question to our panelists? Otherwise, we will pick it from the submitted intervention sheet. So can we flash dun sa intervention sheet? Okay. Otherwise, I can recall it from since I have encoded 4 questions. Okay, so we have this one question for Director Maribig of DICT. How can we increase our cybersecurity awareness considering there's only a 9% increase in the last 5 years? Yes, po.
Well, hello. Can you hear my beautiful voice? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the results of the survey is really very revealing because even there's already 5 years and then it's a year younger than the ICT. The ICT is only 6 years old. So that means we still need to do a lot of awareness efforts. The good thing about right now is that, well, there are already plans to come up with a cybersecurity bill in Congress. It did not pass the 19th Congress, so we're submitting it for the 20th Congress. And with that, I think we will really have more efforts to do a lot of cybersecurity awareness. And that's part of the National Cybersecurity Plan. Okay, Gladys mentioned that to me, that there's not to forget to say that there's an existing national cybersecurity plan, but hindi lang kasi DICT I think would need to do this. There's a lot of information campaign. So at the national level, kailangan ma-translate siya into a local level. I mean, down to our citizenry, especially yung mga, ang nangyayari kasi is the scams, if you, it's related to the, what cybersecurity, I mean, activities or breaches that are happening. So, malaking data in terms of the scamming, the phishing, mga. So, kulang talaga ang awareness ng ating mga kababayan, lalo na, especially those, I'm sorry now to, I'm speaking Tagalog, especially those that are not very tech savvy. So may mapunta lang na link, they will click it. That's why my motto when I was head of cybersecurity, I was telling them that yung vulnerability ng mga tao is really on that. The scammers are taking advantage of the innocence or the vulnerabilities, especially those na mga senior citizens, mga bata. So, malaking campaign ang needed. It's not only by DICT, but really to push forward the government in coming up with all of this awareness. And hopefully, if we embark on that starting this year, CSB, we can have a higher rate of awareness next time around dun sa NICTH. Baka pwede namang we don't need to wait to the next, sorry, the household survey. Baka pwedeng may mga spot, you know, maybe we can collaborate with other government agencies as well just to find out ano na ba yung nagiging level. So, but really, marami pang kailangan gawin ng gobyerno to promote this. But, if you look at the other countries, for example, in Singapore, although it's a small island, and they're implementing this one, ang taas ng cybersecurity awareness nila. They have drills, like, those are earthquake drills. They have cybersecurity drills. So, I think that kind of awareness, since mataas kasi yung ating mga scamming and phishing incidents, I think pwede nating gawin yung program na yon and as a policy.
Uh, okay, thank you very much, Director Maribik. And for our next question, we have here from the floor, Mr. George. Please state your name and organization, please.
Good morning, George po from the DICT. Actually, this is for the PSA. When we heard the word survey, we know that you have some regional people conducting the survey, but this time, uh, medyo matagal po talaga yung result ng survey. But we can see presentations from World Bank 2019, 2022, and then parang masyado na pong malayo yung ating pinanggagalingan. But yung target naman ng government is ngayon na. Tapos yung data nating tinitingnan ay noon pa. So wala ho bang mas mabilisan ng pamamaraan? I know there are AIs today. But sa totoo lang po talagang iyon ang by the way, I'm the one actually leading the development of a lot of national ICT plans under the NIPSB kay Director Maribik. But lagi pong ganyan ang nakikita namin, masyadong maedad na yung data. Ang PSA ho ba walang
In other words, can we have a shorter cycle for our survey of the National ICT Household Survey?
Thank you very much for that question, sir, and good morning, everyone. Siguro ang pinakamabilis dito using AI na rin, ano, to do a survey. For some countries kasi they're using already big data. But in PSA, we are still studying the use of big data for our to as alternative way of collecting data aside from surveys and census. So dito sa NICTHS, actually hindi pa kasi siya na-institutionalize yung conduct ng NICTHS. So we just depend on the request of the ICT actually for the conduct of the survey. So the first one was 2019, and then it was done actually by PSRTI, it's not PSA. And this round is done by PSA. So siguro yung frequency, so siguro yung di-discuss natin frequency it would depend on the request of the ICT. Maybe this can be discussed in the IAC on ICT statistics. Actually, the chair of that IAC is Ma'am Director Marivic. So if it is if if they will recommend to have this done or institutionalized, then this can be elevated to PSC board for approval. So para magkaroon na rin tayo ng frequency, say every 3 years, for example, kasi we see the need for more frequent data. In terms of yung length naman ng ating processing, actually ang nakadelay kasi doon yung ating transfer of funds. The initial schedule actually was last year. So sorry from our partners from the ICT. So nagkaroon tayo ng delay in the transfer of fund. Of course, we cannot proceed with our um, operations. Actually, there were also some 888 mga complaints because of the delay of the fund. So siguro in the next round, hindi mangyayari ito. We can discuss further siguro how we can smoothen the conduct of the survey.
Thank you very much. And segueing to the collection of data, the next question is addressed to Ms. Michelle Alarcon of AAP. How can we further increase the people's familiarity on AI concepts, safety, comfort on the use of AI, and others? Yeah, I think it's in slides 78 onwards.
Hello. Thank you po for the planted question, sir. Albert, maasahan ka talaga sa mga mga gusto mo itanong. Okay, but can I related to that on the survey thing, because as si Sir George mentioned, no, how can AI also help? Is this a good use of technology? Because we need data right away to make these decisions, and when we are tracking ICT usage, awareness on cybersecurity, mga technologies na mabilis din gumalaw at mabilis din mag-release ng new versions. The hackers, for example, are always a step ahead of us, right? So you really need also yung mabilis na methods, no, to capture and collect the data, and yung pagpulso natin, no, dun sa Filipinos. So maybe this is really a good way to segue to this, because when we are, I mean, how do we survey? So you really have to follow the methodology right now, and we need to validate that these are real people who are answering naman talaga the survey. So that's why it also needs some time. But we can also augment that with the use of technology, right? And maganda din po sa AI is it can translate to different dialects and different personas. If let's say we are going to a household na hindi sila hindi nila maintindihan yung very technical definition of cybersecurity, and we are asking them, are you aware of cybersecurity? Alam niyo po ba ang scam? Para sa kanila, hindi naman nila talagang alam kung scam yun or hindi. So AI can help us create these different personas and personalize the surveys, so different ways to ask questions. Of course, within the principles natin, no, paggawa ng pag-design ng questionnaire. So yun yung ako po ay ICT and stat din po ako. So I understand that we have to stick to the principles natin to validate the data that we are collecting. So maybe kung magpo-project po kayo at may funds po kayo, sasama po kami. Ganun dun sa paano natin magagamit yung AI for that, right? So on the increasing naman the people's familiarity on AI. So first is, to be honest, without any effort, alam na ng mga tao ang AI. Bakit? Kasi sa social media din natin nila napupulot yung mga yung what it is about and self-driving cars, right? Alam na nila, no? But I think it's more making them familiar on how it is something that's not just for technical people, but how they are also part of how everyone is part of giving data or access to their own data. So let's say when you are paano natin sila educate that when they are using ChatGPT and the likes or any chatbot, the prompts that they give are also becoming part of the training data ng AI, right? So if we are willing to give that, we keep conversing with ChatGPT or we are uploading Excel sheets from our company files, then that's something that they need to be aware of and then say, okay, naintindihan po ba natin na ganito yung implications and this is how it works. So the only way that we can increase awareness on AI and how it works really is not just to maybe leverage on social media platform which they are already using anyway, create TikTok videos and stuff. We're working with Meta actually to come up with these campaigns that are very relatable for the masses, no? Talagang maintindihan nila in like 2 minutes what AI is about and how it may be misused and what to be careful of and so on and so forth, right? Because we see 70% of the Filipinos are on social media, so let's leverage that and promote these concepts to them, as well as the safety issues. What are the possible harms and so on? But we also want people to find ways to use AI for innovative purposes din naman. No? So not just end users, but maybe they can also think, lalo na yung mga kabataan natin, maybe they have an idea where AI can be used for, let's say, for their barangay, tulungan mag-survey, pwede rin, di ba? Or paano maka-avail ng healthcare services dun sa kanilang health center and encourage them to come up with these ideas knowing now what AI can do. So maybe we can also come up with like hackathons and yung mga ganitong patok na patok sa mga kabataan, no, sa schools, how they can maybe come up with an idea and then create a prototype using AI. So if we show them or make it part also of their yung lessons nila in school, make it more not just fun but make it really updated yung mga lessons nila sa school na okay, if this is something that you feel is a solution to this problem, try to create an AI for that. So but for us to do that, kailangan yung teachers natin marunong din. 'Di ba? May isip nila na, "Oh nga, no, pwede ko palang i-change yung format ng aking lesson plan today, no, to include these idea generation and things like that." So that's why I guess segue na po dun sa aking kaninang sinabi, which is the National AI Upskilling Plan. So the National AI Upskilling Plan is it's basically covering 5 different levels of upskilling because the upskilling that we need for grade school students, for teachers, are different from the upskilling that's needed for those already in the workforce and needs more job relevant na upskilling to use AI. So for example, the kids, how they can research better and so on and so forth. How can they have a like a private tutor? So iba yung yung klase ng upskilling that's needed by those students versus the teachers who need to create new content or generate new ideas for the lesson plan versus those who are preparing, for example, to become a supervisor in a BPO. So the upskilling will be tailor fit, and these are at least 5 levels for now. So the AAP is crafting the different high level plans, so together with CHED and TESDA. But we don't know when that's going to come out because that just kicked off like last Monday, last week. But hopefully, when we have more details on the plans, we will be able to publicize that para everyone can be invited to give inputs as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Michelle. And for our next question, we would like to address it to our representative from the World Bank, Mr. Nauto Kanihira. On slide 40, so 98.8% are accessing the internet through a cellular phone. Is there any current program from the World Bank to increase access through fixed broadband internet or other devices like laptop or tablets?
Yes. So the World Bank supports expansion of fixed broadband by two programs. Right? One is what is called development policy loan. So um, it well, World Bank is a bank. So World Bank might sound like technical assistance provider, but at the end of the day, World Bank is a bank. So um, government borrows from the World Bank, right? So um, Philippines government have two loans ongoing for expanding fixed broadband connectivity. One is called Digital Transformation Policy Development Loan, and that took place over the last 2 years, which supports Connected on Pinoy Act. So this is a kind of loan not doing infrastructure investment. This is something decades ago there was a term conditionality, and when the government made conditionality that the World Bank imposes, World Bank can grant access to the funding. So now it is called development policy loan, but essentially the essence of it is World Bank and the government agree on economic policy reform priorities, and if government executes agreed reform, um, big amount of money can be dispersed from the World Bank, and it's DOF who uses it to fill the fiscal gap. So there was a major digital transformation program package addressing connectivity, e-commerce, digital economy, digital government, and digital skills development. Connected on Pinoy Act was single biggest, most important game-changing reform which government and the World Bank fully agreed on, and then submission of the first Senate bill, SB 2699, was supported as a prior action. So, and we're still watching the process and waiting for the president to sign it. But once it is enacted, and we're also supporting the preparation for the implementing rules and regulation, it will increase access through fixed broadband for sure by inviting entrants and increasing competition, lowering the cost of broadband, and reducing the digital divide. So that's one. And then there's a second complementary program is the World Bank loan with the ICT. The ICT is about to start actual implementation. I think Philip is here with us. We have a lot to do more. So this is a 287 million US dollars loan to cover completion of the national fiber backbone, extend the regional and provincial ring, which is middle mile connectivity to municipality offices and the ICT provincial offices, to connect deployed schools, rural health facilities, LGU offices, and other public facilities in western part of Mindanao. And providing, well, incentivizing the private sector to further uptake the connectivity to the household under the open access policies. So we hope that complementing the legislative reform to improve market functioning, the government through the ICT has a very important role to address the residual connectivity gaps that private sector is yet to, because limited commercial viability of providing internet in areas where population density is very low, income level is not necessarily high, and internet, purely commercial internet is not affordable enough so that the government can play a meaningful role. But government cannot spend huge amount of money to connect everyone and the government can go bankrupt. So the complementarity as well as the smart targeting, and also active incorporation of the new technologies such as satellite internet will be vital. So with this, and then analytics and utilizing any new data such as NICTHS 2024 to sharpen the policy focus and adapt to market and technology changes. That we also see as World Bank's very important contribution on continuous improvement in policies and investment.
Thank you very much. And since we are in this beautiful building by the PSA, we would like to have the last say on this forum to come from PSA.
Sir? Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. No, my voice is not as beautiful as Director Marivix, but I hope you can hear me. Um, yeah, of course, on behalf of the PSA, would like to extend our gratitude and appreciation to our discussants, Ma'am Alarcon, Director Marivic, and of course, Sir Naoto. Of course, to our uh, field field offices, regional directors, to our colleagues from the ICT. Uh, we will always be open in partnering with you again with respect to these kinds of surveys that, as you can see, illuminate a lot of things with respect to ICT. Uh, Given yung mga uh, learnings from this project, of course. So again, we'd like to extend that appreciation for the support and, of course, the success of this activity.
Thank you very much. And that, folks, ends our open forum. So, Mr. Jordan, can we now go to the next item in our program?
Okay, thank you very much to our panelists. We have Asset Grace, ANS Adrian, Director Castro, Mr. Kanhira, and Miss Alarcon, and of course to our moderator. But before we proceed to the next part of our program, may I request again the PSA Execom to award a certificate of appreciation and token to our moderator. Asset Grace, Asset Rose, OIC DNS Manao. So this certificate of appreciation is presented to Mr. Alberto B. Salvador Jr. in grateful recognition and sincere appreciation as moderator in the 2024 NICTHS National Data Dissemination Forum. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to officially close this forum, let us welcome Assistant Secretary De Villagracia L. Del Prado of the Sectoral Statistics Office. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, Jordan. To our discussants, Director Maria Victoria Castro of the National ICT Planning Policy and Standards Bureau of the ICT, Ms. Michelle Alarcon, the President and Co-founder of the Analytics and Artificial Intelligence Association of the Philippines, and Mr. Nauto Kanehira, Senior Digital Development Specialist of World Bank, to the PSA Exicom, ang naiwan na lang dito, Ma'am Rose, Sir Menz, and other officials of PSA, to ASEC Philip Barilia of the ICT, distinguished guests from various government agencies, private sectors, and academic institutions, other colleagues from the Philippine Statistics Authority, magandang tanghali na po sa inyong lahat. As we come to the end of today's Data Dissemination Forum of the results of the 2024 National Information and Communications Technology Household Survey, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of you for your active participation and the wealth of knowledge shared throughout this session. This forum has provided us with the opportunity to share key findings from the 2024 and ICTHS results as presented by ANS Adrian and his team. What they have just presented are not just numbers, but the story of how the Filipino people live, learn, and connect in an increasingly digital world. The numbers reflect not only the progress we've made, but also the gaps we must continue to bridge. The importance of the results of the 2024 NICTSS were also highlighted by the presentation of policy and program implications of our discussants. The findings are powerful tools for planning and policy making towards the improvement of every Filipino to be part of a more inclusive and connected society. With the right data, smarter solutions, and more responsive programs that truly serve the Filipino people can be created. With the wide range of topics discussed today, I am confident that the key findings and insights shared will be move us forward and bring a significant impact to our country. On behalf of the Philippine Statistics Authority, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to our keynote speaker, Secretary Henry Ruel Aguda, for gracing this occasion and for the inspiring message which set the tone for the forum. We are honored by the presence of the Secretary and grateful for the insights shared. Thank you also to our discussants, Director Victoria Mavic, President Michelle Alarcon, and Mr. Arnauto Kanihira, for your thoughtful insights that have enriched our understanding on the importance of this data in advancing ICT policies and programs. I extend our gratitude to the ICT for the funding and technical support which enabled the conduct of the 2024 NICTSS. I would also like to acknowledge the dedication and hard work of the PSA personnel who have tirelessly worked to collect, process, validate, and analyze data which have we have just disseminated. So we have our regional directors and the chief statistical specialists who led the field operations of the survey in their respective regions, the technical staff of the central office personnel led by ANS Adrian Cerezo for the finalization of results of the survey and for the organization of the Data Dissemination Forum. And to our IT team for the essential role of ensuring that we are connected from the beginning to end. Thank you also to our moderator, Mr. Alberto Salvador of the ICT, for keeping the open forum lively and engaging, and to our Master of Ceremony, Mr. Jordan Arnaez of PSA, for the seamless flow of the program. To all our esteemed guests, thank you for coming. Your presence and active participation in this forum made this forum more meaningful. We hope we can continue to engage beyond this forum to foster partnership and share insights. We look forward to your continued support in the future data dissemination activities of the PSA. Thank you once again and have a good day, everyone. Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you very much, Asa Grace. Before we close, some reminders. Please do not forget to accomplish your evaluation sheets using the QR codes available at the program of activities at the table centerpiece or at the back of your name tag. Or if you prefer a printed copy of the form, our secretariat may give them to you. And also, we would like to thank the Full System Registry Office of the Philippine Statistics Authority and the DICT for the additional tokens. And so, ladies and gentlemen, friends of PSA, DICT, friends from the Philippine Statistical System, and to our online viewers, that concludes the National Data Dissemination Forum on the results of the 2024 NICTHS. Again, thank you for coming and for continued support with the PSA undertakings. Don't forget to follow our Facebook, X, and TikTok accounts at PSA GovPH and subscribe to our YouTube channel at PSA govph_. You may rewatch this live stream on our YouTube channel and Spotify account. Once again, I am Jordan Arnaiz of the Philippine Statistics Authority. Thank you very much and mabuhay tayong lahat. Have a great lunch, everyone. So before our lunch, may we request our PS